Hi, I'm Chris. I'm doing my informative speech on Yao Ming. I decided to do Yao Ming because he was a Chinese basketball player, and I am Chinese, and I like basketball, and there's not many professional Chinese athletes out there, so I wanted to do one on him. Since Yao Ming was born, he was always a little bit bigger than everybody else. When he was born, he was a 10-pound baby, and in the third grade, he was about 5'7". Yao's family, his obviously gets his height from his parents. His dad is 6'10", and his mother is 6'2". It took till sixth grade for him to reach 6'2", and then 3 years later, he was his dad's height. Growing up, he hated basketball. He didn't like it. He was so much taller than everybody else, he thought it was weird. But then soon later, he realized that it would come to his advantage. He started playing when he was very young, and he was a star player of the China youth team. And he started playing professional for the Shanghai Sharks at 17. At the time, soccer was the most popular sport in China. But because of Yao's popularity and everybody wanted to watch him, everybody wanted to play basketball. And then basketball soon became the most popular sport in China. In his last playoffs run with the Sharks, Yao averaged over almost 40 points, 20 rebounds, and over 75% shooting from the field. NBA career. When Yao was drafted in 2002, he was the first overall pick. He was the first foreign #1 overall pick of all time. His real name is Ming Yao, but when he was drafted, all of his teammates would call him Ming Yao they would call him Yao Ming instead of Ming Yao. And Yao Ming was a little shy, so he didn't want to correct them. He didn't want them to tell him. He didn't want to tell them that they were wrong. So he just left it, and then he became Yao Ming. Usually, because of the time difference between China and the United States, there's a 12-hour difference, so it's hard to watch some of the basketball games. And there's only used to be about 40 million views per game from China, but with Yao Ming coming at his first game, the views were about 200 million to 300 million, just because he was from China. Some accolades. From 2002 to 2009, Yao Ming was the top scoring center. Nobody scored more points than he did throughout those 7 years. Out of people that were 7 feet tall, 2 inches or taller, he was second in scoring points per game, next to the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Another accomplishment for Yao Ming was that even though his hands were so big, he still shot 88% from the free throw line, which is very tough for people with big hands. Throughout his career, he had an 8-year career, and he made the All-Star game all 8 times, and it was All NBA 5 times. He was the tallest player in the All-Star game ever, and the 3rd tallest player ever. And it still to this day is the only Chinese person to play in the All-Star game. When he retired, he was 6th in points and rebounds, and 2nd in blocks in Rockets history. Injuries. Yao Ming had a strong first 3-year start to his career. He played all 80 games, or at least 80 games in all 3 years. And then after that, his body started to wear down. We had a toe surgery in 2005, a broken foot in 2006, fractured knee, fractured left foot in 2008 again, which caused him to miss the 2009-2010 season. And then 5 games into the 2011 season, he broke his ankle, which forced him to miss the entire season, which he would soon retire after that because his body just couldn't take it anymore. Out of the 492 regular season games in his last 6 seasons, he missed 250, which is the 2nd most of all time for a #1 overall pick. After the NBA. After the NBA, the first thing Yao Ming did was he went to university, and he tried to get he graduated with a mathematics degree. After that, he became the president of the CBA, which is the Chinese Basketball Association, which was pretty obvious that it would be him because he was so influential in China. Everybody knew him. Everybody wanted to be him that was playing basketball. They looked up to him. And then he became a legislative advisor soon after that. And in his free time, he likes to make wine. Here's a quote from the great Bill Walton. Yao Ming is the best thing to happen to the NBA in a long time. He's just a beautiful person inside and out. The vision of the creativity, the gentleness of spirit, he has it all. We're excited.